Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the woman who fixes all of these great singers that eventually I list to sell. Today I'm going to make a video of a Singer 301A. The serial number is NA499523, and I had to write that down so I wouldn't forget. What I'm going to do is go ahead and reset up a little bit, and then I will demonstrate the machine sewing on a couple different thicknesses of fabric and show you the stitch up close, because I know that's what everyone really wants to see before they purchase a great machine like this. So let me set up again and we'll get started. Okay, so we are back. I am hoping my house is fairly quiet while I try to get through this for you. This is a long bed 301A. And I'm going to just show you a couple of the things that this machine will come with. Everyone always asks if it has a case. I'm going to try to keep this from being too shaky here. This machine did not come with the case. And what I have found is, even if I buy one with a case, if I'm having it shipped to me, it doesn't always make it in one piece anyway. Speaking of not making it in one piece, the manual came with this machine, but it wasn't in one piece. And what I want to show you is actually the original manual was missing this page here, the inside page, and this page, as well as this page. So actually I have an original manual that I photocopied and kind of put it together with the actual manual that I did receive for this book. And yes, it is dusty and it's old. These machines are in the early 1950s as far as when they're manufactured, so you kind of expect things to not be pristine anymore. This also, the back was missing, and this page here in the back. But I did my best to kind of make sure you have something sort of complete. The most important parts of the instruction manual are there, and that's what you would need, especially if you had never used a 301A before. The machine also comes with a box of accessories, which I have them photographed on my listing, so I'm not going to take them all out, but they are here in the box. And I did include 5 bobbins for you to get started for your sewing collection. So okay. Also, I wanted to explain that this machine, the original foot, I almost included it with the listing, but it was temperamental and it was sewing really fast. 0 to 60 is an understatement. The motor in this machine is remarkable and super strong. And I didn't feel like the foot pedal did it any justice, because you were going to lose control. You couldn't have that fine, slow control that you get with a modern foot pedal. So I have one that I actually have hooked up to this machine right now, but the pedal you'll be getting is this one right here. I've never plugged this one in or anything. It's ready to go. It says featherweight foot control pedal. It works with the 301A. They are designed the same as far as the way this one plugged in is the same as a featherweight machine. So I just felt like for the best sewing experience for you, I would include an electronic foot pedal, which will give you that variable speed that you really need. Not all of us sew lightning fast. I admire anyone who can. So that's sort of the basics. So I'm going to turn this on. I did put a new LED light bulb in this machine. This little cover, there's a little glass cover in here. For me personally, when I sew with them, I take them off. I don't like the shadows that I get on the machine. And I find if I just take that glass cover off, it's fairly easy. You just loosen. There are 2 screws on the lampshade here, and you take this glass magnifying light out, or glass piece out, and you'd be surprised at how well lit your workspace is compared to sewing with this on. But that's really up to you. So what I'm going to do first is just sew a couple samples, and I'll try my best to let you see up close and in focus the final stitch. And I'll also try not to bump my tripod while I'm sewing. So what I have here is just white cotton. It's actually an old bed sheet that I cut up for my test sewing. I am going to start out with the longest stitch setting, which is controlled with this knob right here. You have reverse, which is all the way up here, and then your longest stitch, which is 6 stitches per inch. And then you can regulate it up to very fine. Some people say they get 20 or more stitches per inch. But we'll start out with the 6, and then I'll move it up for you so you can see how that kind of works, and try to keep my feet out of the video too. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put my presser foot down and make sure you can see that in focus. Okay, start sewing. So I can go very slow or very fast. This machine does both. With the original foot pedal, I could not have given you that. So I just felt like it was important. So to adjust my stitch length, I will move my lever. That's set at about an 8. And then let's go to a really fine stitch. Turn it. Or slow. Just so you can see the amount of control you have. Raise this up. I'm sewing on about a 3 for my tension. I'm actually not going to change that for this whole demo. I think that it's amazing how these machines work, and they handle as the thickness of your fabric changes, it handles it so well. I don't typically mess with the tension settings on my machines unless I'm doing something really special, but we'll see if we can get this. Okay, so here is the top of the fabric, and you can see how fine these stitches are, and then you can see this is the 6 per inch. When I flip this over, you'll see the back, a little piece of fuzz. The back is just as beautiful. And just to show you that the tension really is set properly, I can pull on this. I'm not seeing any loops showing up in between. So the next thing I like to do, and I could pull out a piece of leather, and I would stress garment leather to anyone using this machine, and it would sew it. The same with heavy denim or things like that, but I think I'm going to be able to show you well enough just by using a piece of cotton and folding it several times over itself towards the end, so you can see how it handles moving over the various thicknesses. So I'm going to just start with 2 layers. I'll put it back down to 6, or actually I'll take it up to an 8. I'm not going to change it because I want you to be able to count the stitches and see that the length doesn't change. It feeds really nice. So let's just get started. I'll go just a little ways, and then I'm going to fold this long strip of fabric up. And so I'll first transition to 4 layers of fabric. Not really anything changing. Now we'll transition, this would be 8. She just keeps sewing. And we'll end it with 8 and 8, that's 16 layers of cotton. So we may, okay. So honestly, I didn't know if I would do the 16 layers. 8 plus 8 is 16, yes. But I think you need to see it, so let's just check this out here. So here, this is actually the thickest part of the fabric, and it's, let me get you some better light here. It's amazing to me. I mean, my stitch length is gorgeous. So this would be 16, 8, 4, and then just the 2. And if I flip this over, look at all of that cotton. Beautiful stitching on the back, all the way down. And I didn't change my tensions at all. It just went right through it on its own. I have a standard needle, which is another great thing about sewing on these machines. Of course, you may need a different needle for specialty fabric, but overall, you really don't have a lot of technical things to think about when you're sewing with one of these. So anyway, this is already long enough. I just get so excited about them. If you have any questions, please message me, but hopefully most of them have been answered here. Show you this, how cool that is. Bobbins down here, easy to access when you're in the middle of sewing. Anyway, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.